is episode 20, the actual episode 20 of We Are Not Experts, an airplane building podcast. Recorded May 24th, 2026 from their home studios in East Texas, where tonight, for the first time in the history of this program, there is a third voice in the room. Here are your hosts, Chris and Tim. These men are not experts, and apparently the feeling is contagious.
Every episode's an adventure. Speaking of, let's just kick it off right now. We got our music going. This, by the way, is music that came with the Roadcaster.
But it's signature now.
Yeah, when you bought it. So I didn't replace it. I kept it.
Belongs to us.
So by now, all of our adoring fans around the world know what this sound means. It means it's another episode of We Are Not Experts, an airplane building podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Tim.
And this is episode 20, I promise.
It
episode
actually is.
20.
Yes.
But I'm sure it'll be more than 20 episodes of We Are Not Experts in Airplane Building podcast. Tim, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good. I've been busy. Not completely with airplane stuff, but I've been busy. So
yeah,
it's a good thing.
You've been, and maybe our throngs of adoring fans will hear it here in a little bit, but you seemed a little bit under the weather. I saw you yesterday and you seemed to have a touch of the COVID or something.
It's the airline crud, whatever it is. Happens every time I come back. So,
well, that's impossible because that air is filtered 30 times a second.
Yeah, there you go. I'll cough periodically just to sell it.
Okay. So this is not only is this actually episode 20, which is different than the last time I told you was episode 20. That was episode 19, but just trying to keep you guys on your toes.
We're overachievers here.
Yeah. And you would be amazed at the amount of feedback that we got from people correcting us on the episode number and also correcting us, which would be me, on my claim that it was vernal equinox when I was off by a month.
I mean, if you're going to be off big.
Yeah. So yeah, that feedback, by the way, the astonishing number was actually 0. So while we proclaim proudly that we are not experts, it would appear that our listeners are just slightly less expert than we are.
Or just
if they're not catching these obvious errors. I said we do it to keep you guys on your toes. Speaking of you guys, we have, we're going to do something that we've never done before on the show. And I was going to announce it, but I think I have somebody else who's going to step in and well, here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, builders and dreamers, frequent flyers of every altitude. For 19 episodes, it has been 2 men, 2 RV-8s, and 2 garages full of questionable decisions. That ends tonight, because for the first time in the history of We Are Not Experts, the hangar doors swing wide, and a challenger walks in, straight off the YouTube channel known as Slink Air. He builds no tandem. He builds no tail dragger. He is putting together a side-by-side, nose wheel, and all-Vans RV 14A. He is the first guest these 2 have ever dared to let inside the building. Ladies and gentlemen, put your rivet guns together for Brandon.
Hey.
Nice.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was quite an intro. Maybe we should just end it right there. That's probably
that's
as good as it's going to get.
That's the high point right there. And we're only like 3 minutes and 47 seconds in, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, super excited to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And so we purposely didn't do really any dialogue. We didn't talk on the phone other than exchanging a couple emails just to say, hey, let's do an episode together. Here's how we get you on the show. I wanted to leave it open for discussion so we could figure out who you are and what you're all about, other than what we already know from your channel. So, Tim, do you have any opening questions for the man?
Yeah, I mean, the one that we all had in the beginning, what made you want to build an airplane? What brought you to this?
So that's a interesting story. So my son got married just a little while ago, but when he was getting older, and I have 3 daughters younger than him, and they were all getting older, my oldest daughter is now 19 going on 20, and then I have a 17 and a 15-year-old. And I looked at my wife because I needed to figure out a way to get her on board with me spending a large sum of money. And I said, hey, if the kids move away after they get done with school, they get married and they have grandkids, and COVID had happened and you weren't able to fly anywhere, I was like, and if something like COVID happens and you want to go see the grandkids, we don't have an option. So we basically have to build an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Smart man.
And so I think I convinced her that it was worth the money, and
it's not a want, it's a necessity.
Exactly.
There you go.
That we needed it so she could see grandkids when those grandkids come.
That's
well
awesome.
Done.
So, COVID had some influence on my decision to build an airplane as well, or to pull the trigger on it.
Right.
And that's probably true of a lot of us. So suppose you do have grandkids. Your kids grow up, they move away, they have grandkids. From where will you be flying?
It depends. We're not sure where we will end up. I think the goal, and you could probably talk to my wife and get the real answer, but for me, I think the goal is somewhere in between all of the kids. So we want to be kind of equidistant wherever they end up. Hopefully they don't. I know my daughter, she wants to move to France. She loves France and speaking French and all of that good stuff. And
that's interesting. My oldest, she's moving there in a few months.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. She so if she ends up there, then we might have to make some, cross the Greenland, Iceland, England trip. I would actually like to do that, but
oh yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think that depending upon where they end up, if a couple end up back east and a couple of them are out west, we'll end up somewhere in the middle, somewhere Texas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Kentucky. I don't know, somewhere where it has nice weather. We would like to be at an air park. I think that's kind of the dream anyway.
And you're currently in the I believe they pronounce it the Phoenix area.
The Phoenix, yeah, Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you for correcting me on that.
Phonics.
Yeah. Technically in Phoenix, actually we're 6 houses away from being in Levine, but so southwest Phoenix. Southwest Valley of Phoenix.
So obviously a popular area for general aviation on the training side. And then also there's at least one other YouTubing builder that I know of in the area.
There's a few actually. 112 Adventures, I think, is out here. Austin Mankey, he's building an RV-10. He actually just moved. He just posted a video. They moved over to the west side over here. But yeah, there's a few of them.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting. I was wondering if you'd ever connected with any of them in any way. Austin's the one that's like front of mind for me. And I actually, you can go back through his videos. You'll actually see me helping him. When I first was thinking about it and I had talked to my wife about it, I said, I'm not sure if I want to put that amount of money down, and then I get it and I start it and I hate it. I want to have some kind of intro into building an airplane just to see if I liked it. And so I reached out to Austin because he's a real estate agent here in the Phoenix area, and he had his sign which had his number. So I actually called his business number and I said, hey, I'm thinking about building. Yeah, exactly. I don't want a house. I have no interest in that, but hey, can you let me come help you build the plane sometime? And he said, yeah. I mean, he's freaking awesome. I mean, let's just be honest about it. Austin is a great guy. And he said, yeah, come out. So I went out on a Saturday and helped him buck some rivets. He kind of showed me all of the stuff. It was fantastic. And I came back home and I told my wife, I was like, we're going to be spending a lot of money here in the next few days. So, that's cool. So do you have what's your aviation background prior to that, like prior to conceiving of spending your wife's retirement money?
I actually got my pilot's license 6 days after I turned 17.
Okay.
In between my junior and senior year of high school, my uncle was an instructor pilot, and so he said, "Hey, if Brandon has always liked planes, if he wants to come get his pilot's license, I'll do it for just the cost of the airplane rental cost, and I won't charge him any of the instructor time."
Yeah.
Back then, in the 90s, early 90s, it only cost me, I think, about $2,200 was the total for all of the flight time.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic. And I ended up getting my license, came back, and then didn't do a whole lot with it because money was tight. I was going to college. I was failing out of college. And then my dad said, "Hey, you can't fail out of college and do nothing, and you can't live here for the rest of your life. You need to figure out your life." And he said, the military is always an option. They have the GI Bill. It'll help pay for school when you're done. And so I ended up joining the Air Force and served 4 years active duty and then 4 years in active reserves.
Yeah. Yeah. Your dad is Air Force also, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you follow, if you've seen any of our episodes of our podcast or whatever, but I'm a context clues guy. So I'm always anytime I watch anything, whether it's somebody's YouTube channel or, and maybe also because of my many years work in the film industry, when I watch a television show or movie, I'm almost watching everything other than what the actual subject is on the screen, trying to figure things out. So,
because my dad has been in a few videos and he has his hat. Military hat. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to discuss with you is, and I know that we had that the Experimental News Desk had sent over really kind of one of their fresh off the truck new hire journalists over to your place to file a dispatch. But I am curious about where you are in the build relative to where you are in the videos, because I was doing a little catch up on your channel today, and you were commenting on Christmas gifts you got. But it was this video was like 3 or 4 weeks old. So there's a gap there.
I'm trying, so there's a long story behind that. I don't know if you know this, but it takes a ton of time to edit video.
No,
it is. And when I first started this, I was like, pie in the sky, this is going to be great. I have to document the build anyway. I'm just going to video it. I'm going to put them out on YouTube. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah. Seems so easy.
It's so easy, right? It's just, 15 minutes and you're done. It's, not when you have like 5 hours of build video and you got to go through all 5 hours of it to kind of figure out what you're going to do with it and how you're going to splice it together and how you're going to, and then doing the voiceovers for it. I'm telling you, the video part of the aircraft building, if I had to do it over, I probably wouldn't do the videos.
I can relate, and I know that Tim can as well, but there came a point where, when I was building every day and I was putting out a video for every build session, and that was the point when I went from doing really descriptive editing to just Keystone Cops and just a one-shot voiceover over a sped up video. I would just speed up the video to whatever was going to make the whole video last 10 minutes. And I just and I can talk. So I just do a voiceover straight over it. So then I could pump them out like crazy. And that's actually more on the style of the guy who originally inspired me to do this in the first place. Meaning like I first got the idea in my head that I might actually like building. And that's Andrew Kilroy.
Yeah, I love his videos.
Yeah, and his are 5 minutes, and there are very few videos where he actually stops and shows you something. But yeah, in the beginning, I was trying to really do a lot. Austin certainly does a lot with his editing. Ryan does a ton with his.
Oh, Ryan Flies. His channel is, in my opinion, top notch.
Yeah, yeah. So certainly, I have it down to it really is a factory sort of thing, like come in, upload the raw files really quickly. But once I start and edit on a video, if it's a 20-minute video, it's a 21-minute edit.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It still takes me about an hour, but I mean, it's the same thing. I just speed everything up to a factor of 10
Yeah.
And just start cutting out stuff that doesn't matter out of the video. Like anytime I walk away or anytime that I'm being repetitive, like nobody needs to see me deburr 500 more holes.
Yeah.
So
I
I just
started cutting out
cut.
all of the priming and all of the scuffing. It's like, you don't need to see me do that anymore.
Nobody wants to watch you scuff for 2 hours, but
well,
you gotta remind them it's there though.
Yeah, to answer your original question, I'm about 3 months behind in videos.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So videos I can put out pretty fast when I'm building, which obviously I have not been recently. Podcast episodes, by the way, like when this podcast episode goes to air, you will again be talking about your Christmas presents. It takes me a long time to edit a podcast episode. That's the one that I have not gotten down.
It's not quite that bad.
It's
not for you.
Not for me. No, I say we're done. Good. Cool.
Yeah.
Let me know when it's out.
I always wondered, it's like, oh, how do these people make, these YouTube stars and Instagram stars? It's like, how do they make all that money and do all of, like, every day they have a video coming out? Yeah. Well, they have entire teams of people working behind the scenes. It's like, oh, well, that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them, even in the aviation side, people that we really like their channels, they hit a certain point where they've got enough going on, like they're monetizing and they're making enough that they can just send everything to an editor and that guy will make it look cool and you'll keep tuning into it.
Yeah.
Tim, I wanted to mention something to you recently. We've talked about we talked about Trent Palmer's channel before.
Yeah.
And how I think that for you and I, at a certain point, like it used to be super cool, and then it's kind of the same thing, plus an AG1 commercial.
Plus an AG1,
like in the MIDI of it. Yeah. But did you see that last week or the week before, he did called ambient camping video?
Yes. That was actually great. I love that.
That was watchable.
Yeah.
I was like, thank goodness.
That was awesome. The ASMR in that video with the sounds of the camping and everything, that was perfect.
You know what? That was the same thing I was thinking was the flying was the least interesting part to me of that whole video.
Yeah, no, for me,
camping was
I wanted to be there camping. It made me want to go airplane camping all over again. So yeah.
Yeah. We had a good conversation with an experienced airplane camper yesterday. We'll talk more about that later in the episode. Okay, Brandon. So 4 years active duty Air Force. I did similar, not Air Force, but 4 years active duty Marine Corps, 4 years inactive. So what'd you do after?
Well, I went to school. So I got out of the military and said, oh, I want to go to school. And I'm not sure who said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I don't know what I want to do. But I really liked computers. So I went and looked at a couple of schools, computer programs. I ended up going to DeVry, and I got my computer information systems bachelor's degree. Got a job at the local utility here, writing code for them. I've been there for coming up on 26 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And one day they said, hey, this is like a one-time offer. Anybody that wants to get a master's degree will pay for it. And I said, oh, that's fantastic. So I said, yes, I'll do that. And so I ended up getting an MBA with an emphasis in information systems.
Nice.
Wow. So that does kind of set you up where when your kids scatter, you can kind of work from or live wherever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. I'm envious. Well, actually, I can live wherever I want to. Yeah. I can be as nomadic as I want to. So it's interesting to me what you say about your daughter in France. And so my oldest daughter graduated last year with the degree in French and comparative literature. And what's today, Sunday? I think just a few days ago, her boyfriend graduated, and they're both going to France for grad school and stay at least a year. And they probably never come back, to be honest. So,
yeah.
And then Tim has also talked about doing that North Atlantic hop over. So I see like a buddy trip happening here.
Oh, hell yeah.
We should do a flight of 3 across the Atlantic. That would be fantastic.
There you go.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome.
Let's see. So who's that guy? the Skyrunner guy from Germany?
Oh yeah. Luke.
His videos are great, but that's only one Van's aircraft flying across North Atlantic. I feel like we could probably we could probably get more views than him when we fly formation.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
absolutely.
go.
Yeah.
Well, and there was who was it that flew down to Brazil?
Oh, that's the
Oh,
RV9
Guy.
guy.
Yeah, the guy up in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah.
His videos are good. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, like
That'd
when we
be
start
fun,
thinking
too.
about avionics, it's time to go back and start watching his channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
that nice table that he sets up and runs the wires. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from his channel in a while, but man, he did a great job. So that, you know what, I think now is a good time, since we're getting more into talking about the actual building and the current state of building. Why don't we just go ahead and check in with what's his name? The new guy they hired over at their experimental news. Oh, Preston, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Let's see what Preston has to say from.
He was great to talk to.
Yeah. Let's see.
This is Preston Thackeray, Senior Investigative Correspondent for the Experimental News Desk,
Senior.
reporting from the field. The desk has established a new outpost, the Garage Bureau, in a structure that also houses, by this correspondent's count, 2 lawnmowers and a considerable quantity of shadow. Here, a man named Brandon is attempting to construct a Vans RV-14A for his Slink Air operation. The subject claims steady progress through Section 33, the rudder and brake systems. He reports a recent triumph of a cosmetic nature, a freshly painted cockpit that, by his own account, sets the builder's blood pumping. This correspondent examined the paint and reserved judgment. A shadow falls across the rest of the report. The fuel lines remain uninstalled, paralyzed by an unchosen engine and the terrifying vacuum of the unknown. Under questioning, Brandon conceded that not knowing what you are doing is the hardest part of the work, a candid admission, and one this desk noted. The logistics tell their own story. A nearby warehouse supplies tactical washer-holding tools. Vans Aircraft, for its part, levies a flat $10 toll on every shipment to the Bureau's treasury. Ahead on the bench waits a flap actuation system, though the source has signaled he may instead retreat into older, unfinished business. And then, the question of flight itself. Brandon projects 4 years to completion, a figure he frames not as a matter of time, but of money, with a $100,000 wall of unpurchased engines and avionics standing between this garage and the runway. Will that timeline hold? This correspondent has seen optimism before. The desk remains skeptical. Reporting from the greasy floor of the Garage Bureau, not perhaps the assignment this correspondent trained for, but a story nonetheless, I am Preston Thackeray for the Experimental News Desk. Back to the studio.
Way to go, Preston.
Yeah, Preston, first day on the job and senior, what did he say? Yeah, senior correspondent.
In his own mind anyways.
He seemed pretty young to me.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll hear from Preston again, especially with the influx of new seasoned talent that they've had at the Experimental News Desk. I'm not sure if they'll be able to tolerate somebody like Preston there.
Like it sounds like they have like a rotating door of personalities.
It's almost always somebody new.
Yeah. I don't know why that is. I mean, they have such captivating subjects to cover. Why would anybody want to do anything other than visit a couple of janky airplane factories in East Texas? The pay's got to be amazing.
I mean, I was proud
beautiful.
of my paint job. He did not seem too enthused about it, though.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, so yeah, it sounds like you are quite a bit further than what we've seen in the videos.
Yeah.
In fact, one of our viewers who is familiar with you, he commented, I don't know, a couple of months ago saying when we were kind of wondering about where you were in the progress, and he said that you'd already done the big join.
Yes.
Which I don't think we've seen on video yet.
It's probably 3 weeks away. Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what?
Sorry. In regular airplane speak, that would be the joining of the fuselage and the tail cone?
Correct. Yeah, the empennage to the fuselage. I did that probably 2 months ago. And so I think there's about a month's worth of videos that need to go out before you actually see that. So I did fuselage side skins. Those videos are coming out. I did the brace, the seat back brace part was done. You should see that video in like 3 weeks. And then I think the big join is next, joining the empennage to the fuselage.
Yeah. Speaking of the big join, Tim, did you see the look on my face yesterday when Joe asked me if I've done my tail cone yet?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that was about too.
Is that missing from my kit?
Did we miss something? I was like, I just got done building the whole fuselage and I don't remember any of that. I was like, son of a...
I did the empennage like 3 years ago. I forgot to build the tail cone. Where are those parts?
Where'd who go? Yeah.
Yeah, we had, we've talked about Joe before on the show. He's the president of our local EAA chapter. Objectively, probably, definitely the best chapter in the entire network, 302. But also a very accomplished builder and technical advisor. And so he came out and actually visited both of our shops yesterday, which was awesome. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Tim, or do you want to save that for your...
No, I mean, we can talk about it and then we can talk about build stuff later. But yeah, he came out to mine first. Chris came shortly thereafter and looked over the state of things because hadn't been out to take a look at things yet, and gave me some advice on some things I had questions on. I think part of it was, and we know he's listening now, so hi, Joe. He was binging the podcast the day before yesterday, and he was sending us text message after text message as he was listening to the podcast, like trying to answer questions.
Yeah.
The problem was he wasn't caught up on the podcast, so some of the decisions he found out, an episode later that we had already made a choice or we had done this or done that. So it was kind of funny. So he came out and got the live update and saw exactly where we're at. And he gave me some really good advice, some things to maybe think about doing different. Parts of that I'll talk about when we get the report here. But overall, I mean, it was a really good visit. We got to pick his brain for a while and got a lot of good answers on some things and thought about some things that maybe we hadn't thought about before. One of
that
which
was
is
fun. I mean, Joe's just cool to hang out with. And I know that in our world of what we do, there's the acronym EAB, which of course, experimental aviation or experimental amateur built aircraft, which is ultimately what ours be. I would say that Joe is a different sort of EAB. Joe is an expert amateur builder. He's got a beautiful RV-8 that he told us yesterday. He's landed basically every landing strip in Idaho. He's taken that thing everywhere.
He's taken it to every backcountry spot other than like maybe 2% of them he can't get into. So
yeah. And then a beautiful RV-10, a really beautiful RV-10 that he built. But it's interesting, his recall, I was going to say, like just how quickly he has like immediate, like you mention a part or something and he knows all of it. It's hardwired into his brain. So a great resource to have. Should we just go ahead and who's the guy? Virgil, I think.
Oh yeah, Virgil came out to see me.
Yeah, Virgil's another new guy.
Very, very wise. Any
background on Virgil before we listen to the report that he filed?
No, I didn't know anything about him until he showed up, and then he just kind of looked at me with this blank 500-yard stare kind of thing, as if he'd seen some stuff. So I don't think he was impressed by anything, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, I don't know. Let's hear it in Virgil's own words. He is the professional after all. We are not experts. We're just amateurs.
Yes.
The Skunk Works, Cleveland, Texas. The RV-8 has now crossed one of the more visible thresholds in amateur aircraft construction. It is standing on its own landing gear. With assistance from fellow builder Chris, the remaining belly skins were riveted into place, effectively exhausting most of the productive work that could still be done with the fuselage in the rotisserie. Rather than delay the inevitable, the main landing gear was permanently installed, and the aircraft now rests on its gear legs for the first time, technically on caster wheels, though fitted with its actual tail wheel assembly. That transition has opened the door to the next phase of assembly. Most fuselage wiring is now complete. Wing harnesses using CPC quick disconnect connectors have been fabricated and routed, in the apparent hope that the wings will only need to be plugged in once. Antenna locations have also been finalized after what sources describe as a prolonged negotiation with spacing requirements. Experimental antennas from Delta Pop Avionics ultimately made the cut. The project also received an official inspection of sorts, as local EAA chapter president Joe conducted a technical counselor visit, reviewed workmanship, answered questions, and introduced what may become the next irreversible modification. Another hole in the airplane, this time for additional cabin ventilation. Meanwhile, in what can only be described as a side project escaping containment, a fully custom wireless aircraft weighing and balance system has been designed and built alongside companion software capable of supporting multiple VANS models and potentially additional aircraft types. At present, the aircraft is structurally closed up underneath, electrically nearing completion in the fuselage, and no longer pretending to be stationary shop furniture. Reporting from the Cleveland Skunk Works, this is Virgil with the Experimental News Desk. This is the end for now.
There you go.
You know what? Oh, wow.
Skunk Works, Cleveland, Texas.
Virgil's back.
Virgil's back.
Listening to Virgil and his description, I mean, I just saw your plane yesterday. I know what it is, but listening to Virgil, I feel like you're 6 months away from first flight.
You're always only 6 months away from first flight. Come on. Actually, for me, it's 2 years. I'm always 2 years away. I will forever be 2 years away.
Virgil, to me, I feel like Virgil and that Dos Equis guy, the most interesting guy in the world, live just down the street from each other. They're probably
definitely
play pickleball
related
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're neighbors.
They're probably more competitive than that. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's on its gear. It's on some questionably mounted caster wheels to the end of this gear. And I say questionably because Chris has seen the picture. I've already posted the picture on Instagram. It'll be on the next video when it comes out. But in my rush, because I wanted to get it flipped over, I didn't come up with a proper mounting method for the caster. So I just took two 2x4 stubs, screwed them together, and screwed a caster wheel on the bottom and stuck the end of the gear socket in it and called it good. And that worked fine for about half a day when one of the 2x4s just broke and the gear's sitting on the ground. Thankfully, there's pads under it, so it wasn't a big deal. But I've now 3D printed a ASA socket that fits around it and that the caster fits to, and it actually works really well. And it's much more secure than it was. The tail wheel might have been a bad choice because it is very mobile in the rear end now. It doesn't take much to move the aft end of the airplane around. Yeah. A little goes a long way now. So maybe that'll come back out and I'll just mount it to a dolly that doesn't roll so well or something, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it's at now. And then Joe mentioned a couple of days ago, listening to the podcast, RV8s only have one NAC event on the forward left side of the fuselage for the pilot. And then there's one under the, is it the right wing or left wing? I can't remember. There's one under one of the wings for the passenger in the back. But we live in Houston, Texas. It is just as hot as it is humid here. It is miserable all the time. And more air is always better. Normally, when RV8 builders want to build another NAC event for the pilot, you just put it on the opposite side of the fuselage, which ends up in the lower forward baggage well. But that doesn't work for me because that's where I've decided to put my batteries and basically my whole electrical management system. So I can't have, a NAC event and a scat tube running through there. So when Joe was out, he pointed out, just put it on the left side right above the other one. And was like, I mean, why not? So it's marked out where it's going to go. It looks like it'd be really different and cool. And, I'm always looking for an excuse to cut another big ass hole in the airplane for no good reason. So here we go. The next modification coming in hot. We'll see how quickly that happens.
Yeah. With all of your access panels and modifications, I really think that visual asymmetry is the theme anyways on your airplane.
It's going to be random.
Yeah. I think that extra NAC event near the other NAC event it'll look better with it than it would without it.
Oh, I'll highlight it too. Everything's going to get like a nice little red pinstripe around it or something. So you can see every stupid little extra thing that's asymmetrical and just to irritate people with OCD.
Yeah.
So
You know what? I'm surprised that it didn't really work out the way you thought with the 2x4 blocks gripping.
yeah, you're really surprised
because it's not like you to just do something really quickly,
no,
in a hurry and half a quarter asset.
You mean like decide that I need to design my own set of aircraft scales and build them from scratch? And yeah, because why would I do something like that?
So
Yeah.
you
They
do
are
that
all built
too.
though. And, yeah,
Okay.
they are
Yeah.
all built and they do work. So I
Nice.
have 3 of them now.
Side quests are fun.
Yeah, they are. Maybe
Yeah.
it'll turn into something. Maybe it won't. I don't know, but they work.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm probably going to throw the fuselage on them just to see what it weighs right now because I can.
Yeah. Well, the last time we got together, which has been more than a month now, which when this is done, this will officially be our longest episode because I said last time was episode 20. So this will effectively be like a 6-week long episode by the time we
Continuation of
finish
20.
this version of it. But last time I got a heap of grief from Reginald Beaumont,
Oh,
I
yes.
think.
Maybe want to go out and buy a Dodge Ram. I remember it.
Exactly. I like that guy. He unfortunately was not available to interview me this week. There's, I don't know if you're aware, but there's some stuff going on in the Strait of Hormuz, and I don't know. There's always something going on in the Middle East, and so he was called away on another assignment.
That was
By the
more
way,
important.
speaking of the Strait of Hormuz, are you guys familiar with Jeff Hormuz?
No.
Check out this Will Ferrell Saturday Night Live skit. Jeff Hormuz.
Oh, geez.
He'll move anything you want. Just don't tell me what it is. I'm Jeff Hormuz.
That's funny.
He's got a pontoon boat with like a whole bunch of 250 horse motors all welded together. And I just drive crazy and fast. And I make a lot of zigzags. Jeff Hormuz. At any rate, yeah. So unfortunately, I don't have any actual practical like airframe progress to report, but there's a report nonetheless. This guy, by the way, who showed up in Reginald's stead, because I would really like to spend more time with Reginald. I feel like he tells a good story. But this guy, another older gentleman who honestly makes Reginald Beaumont look like a teenager. This guy, I'm telling you, when he showed up at my house, he was actually in black and white. So
That's old.
yeah, Hargrove, I think was his name, which is not really a common name with children these days. But apparently when he was around. So let's, I'll just let you see how this turned out.
This is Hargrove B. Fitch reporting for the Experimental News Desk from the Gilbertson Aero Factory. The desk has not visited this facility in some time. The aircraft, for its part, does not appear to have noticed. Progress on the airframe has stalled, the builder citing a schedule that has, by his own account, not permitted the shop lights to come on with any regularity. In the interim, a software venture has consumed the operational hours. This correspondent noted the software. This correspondent reserved judgment. There was, however, a development of some significance. The president of the local EAA chapter, a man who has himself completed 2 aircraft, an RV-8 and an RV-10, made a personal visit to this facility. He is by title a technical advisor. The nature of his visit to the Gilbertson Aero Factory, the builder conceded, bore less resemblance to an inspection than to an intervention. The desk recorded this without comment. What remains before the wings can be closed is a defined list. The original van's aileron bell crank mounts are being replaced with a sky design upgrade, a change the builder describes as a significant improvement, though he acknowledged the decision followed considerable time spent failing to make the factory components rotate smoothly. Final aileron alignment must be verified. Wiring and plumbing remain to be run through the wings. The wing tips are not yet installed. And then there are the fuel tanks. They leak. 2 locations per tank, both tanks symmetric, a fact the builder presented as though symmetry were a form of reassurance. This correspondent took the point cautiously. The tanks will be pressure tested again before any repair is attempted. The desk considers this prudent and notes it is also the only prudent thing in this paragraph. Completion of the wing work, the builder estimates, would require 3 weeks if pursued as full-time employment. It is not being pursued as full-time employment. Oshkosh approaches. The builder will attend for the first time by automobile, camping, not by aircraft. This point required no elaboration. The software project will be making its public debut at Oshkosh. The builder's theory, stated plainly, is that a successful product launch would generate the financial resources necessary to finish the airplane. The airplane is therefore waiting on the software. The software is waiting on Oshkosh. Oshkosh is a few weeks away. This correspondent has covered a great many stories. He has learned that plans which depend on a chain of sequential optimisms tend to test that optimism at every link. Reporting from the Gilbertson Aero Factory, where the tanks leak symmetrically and the bottom skins remain patient, I am Hargrove B. Fitch for the Experimental News Desk. The end. For now.
Hargrove had a lot to say.
And there he goes again. Yeah. Interesting guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to get him and Reginald Beaumont in a room together.
There you go.
And just let them tell stories. Because I'm sure that, you know, over their decades, they have probably covered a whole bunch of guys building airplanes in their garage.
Oh, yeah.
They've seen
some
things.
bourbon. They've seen some things.
Yeah.
You know, it dawned on me, the fuel leak issue could quickly be solved if you just burn the fuel really quickly.
That's true. You mean
get a gas-hungry engine and just burn through it? And you're
fuel management. Joe Waltz, the Joe Waltz School of Fuel
That's
Management.
right. The throttle has 2 positions: idle and full throttle.
This is something that Joe was explaining to us yesterday. He's like, the throttle has 2 positions, on and off. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, super easy.
There you go. You'll never notice the leak if you just burn it really quick.
Yeah.
Done.
So you're going to Oshkosh?
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
I am
both
too.
going to Oshkosh.
Yeah.
All 3 of us are going to Oshkosh. It's very nice.
Oh man. That's
It's gonna
where,
be a party.
yeah. A good opportunity to sit down and plan that trip over the North Atlantic.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Because Brandon will be done in 4 years. Tim will be done in 2.
2.
And I'll ride in the back of Tim's plane as we cross the North Atlantic.
Both in our bright orange poopy suits, just ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've never been. Have you been before, Brandon?
No.
Oh,
well,
cool.
I mean, have I been to Europe? Well, technically,
Oh no,
yeah.
Oshkosh.
I have never been to Oshkosh. No.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been to Osh.
Yeah, my
Never
son
been
and
to
I
Europe.
are going to be there. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So.
Okay. We might just miss you. Well, we're getting there early in the week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting
Probably.
there Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Is when I'm going to arrive.
Yeah.
And then try and stay through Friday, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I loved what Hargrove B. Fitch had to say. This point did not need to be elaborated. When I said, he asked me if I was traveling, he didn't ask me if I was flying to Oshkosh. He basically said, you're obviously not flying to Oshkosh.
You're obviously not going to fly there.
I said, no, I'm actually camping. I'm driving and I'm camping. And he was like, of course you are.
It's okay. You don't have to be stressed out about your airplane getting hit by hail. So
no, I know. Just my truck. Which
Yeah, just the
I
truck.
worry about that here.
yeah, true. It'll definitely rain at least once while we're there. It's just the way it goes.
Well, I'm super excited about it. I mean, it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. I thought I was going to make it out last year. A few years ago, even 2-3 years ago, Lightspeed reached out to me and they were going to pay my way to go because I had an Instagram post when I was. So speaking of Europe and Brandon, you said never been. was fortunate enough to spend a good amount of time there for work, and I actually figured out how to rent a plane, and I flew a little airplane from Berlin to Copenhagen, Denmark.
Cool.
And so I took a cool selfie over the Baltic with my Zulu, Lightspeed Zulu, whatever ones I have. And they reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we'll pay your way. Come up and work 2 days in the booth." I was like, awesome. And a new headset. And then I had to go to France to go, oh, that's when I bought this. I had to go to France for work.
It's your consolation prize.
Yeah, it was during the writer's strike, which when I landed in France turned into also an actor's strike, but the writer's strike had already been going for like 3 months, and I had to jump at any work that was coming up when it happened. And so that particular one, the writer's strike stops everything because writers are constantly employed on shows. They're constantly doing script revisions and stuff like that. But in this case, it was John Woo was the director, and he was remaking The Killer. And so when it looked like the writer's strike was going to happen, they just decided to lock the script. This is a script we're shooting. So that's it. We don't need writers. And then when I got to France to start filming, 2 days into filming, the actors went on strike. So
that's what CGI is for. You don't need those anymore either.
Yeah. So we stayed there for a month, I want to say, because it's a John Woo movie. So we had a whole bunch of action stuff to shoot, and almost all of the stunt people were non-Screen Actors Guild, non-SAG European stunt performers. So we were able to shoot a lot of the, what we call second unit stuff, where it's just stunt doubles. And then we had to come back, I don't know, it was like 6 months later.
So what I'm hearing is you need to go by the Lightspeed booth and be like, "Hey, you remember me? You guys owe me a headset. I'm here.
I'm here.
Late, but I'm here to collect."
Yeah.
I'll even smile and work in the booth.
They don't feel that way because I had to cancel on them like 2 days before.
Yeah, maybe they don't feel that way.
They'll probably take
forgotten.
away the headset I already have if I show up.
You can't wear our stuff no more.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one other thing I forgot that I didn't mention, didn't get brought up during the interview. I did order the interior kit. So that's on order now as well.
Yeah.
52-week lead time, but it's on order. So it'll make it just in time for the 2-year time frame. Ironically, I think it's the longest lead item that I might have for anything on the rest of the build. It's my interior kit.
Yeah. I mean, you have a lot of money left to spend, but you don't have a lot of stuff left to buy.
No.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, that's where it gets scary. I mean,
the avionics are no joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an engine sitting there, but I still have to buy a bunch of expensive stuff for it. Stuff to make it run, stuff to go on the front of it. And then
propellers
all the
are
avionics.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Yeah, but you got your engine for the price of a propeller, so
I did.
How did you do that? You need to share that.
It doesn't run yet. Well, Chris already knows. I've been so I wanted to build a new engine. I just couldn't. They kept getting more and more expensive. I mean, when I started the build, I got a quote from whatever that company, I think it's Aerosport up in Canada, and it was like $52,000 for the engine I wanted. And then a year and a half into the build, I reached out to get another quote from them because things were changing, and I wanted to see if that was still a viable option. And now it went from 52 to 63. I was like, holy crap, that escalated quickly. Yeah. Then all the other stuff happened. And then I realized a new engine is probably not in my future. So I was hoping to find just a decent core at a good price, and I could send the parts off, find an A&P to help me rebuild it. And I wanted to rebuild it myself and just go that route. So I got all the Lycoming manuals. I started looking into what needed to be done. I actually did win an eBay auction bid for a helicopter version of an IO 360 that was I think it was in Arizona too, or it was in Southern California.
It was like Long Beach, I think.
Yeah. I was at Edwards when I won it, and the guy never responded. I never had any contact with him. Thankfully, eBay had me covered and gave me my money back. Turns out he had it for sale on Barnstormers as well, and I think he sold it through there and just didn't take the auction down. So then I gave up for a little while, and then I went back to eBay to look again, and that's when I found that Arizona Air Salvage had a couple of listings, and one of them was for the engine I got. I wasn't expecting it to possibly be in usable condition, but the more I looked at it, it had 500 hours on it since it was rebuilt. It came off of a flying aircraft. The aircraft just timed out for airframe. It has the logbooks for it. It had a governor, it was an IO 360, came with all the accessories. The only accessory they pulled off of it and sold separately was the oil tank for the Christian oil system that was on it. But it still has the sump for it and all the other stuff. So I have a lot of accessories I can't use because it was a 24-volt engine. So the alternator, the starter, all that stuff I got to sell because none of it works. I even have baffles that came off of it. So if anybody needs baffles or an exhaust manifold for a Scottish Bulldog, I'm your guy. I've got a set. But yeah, I got the entire engine. I bought it on eBay, but I mean, it was just a flat buy it now price, and it was 18 grand.
Nice.
So I took it home. Chris had put me on to Savvy Aviation stuff. I read their book, got in contact with them, and I borescoped the motor, took pictures of all the cylinders, the valves, managed to snake a borescope up into the crank to get shots of the camshaft. And, they said it looked good and just preserve it and it should be a perfectly good engine to use. So I was like, okay.
Nice.
So it's sitting on a dry bot, just waiting for the inevitable day it gets installed and we start it for the first time and find out if that's a true statement or not.
Yeah,
That was like a winning lottery ticket.
It
find.
was. Yeah. And like Joe said, it's a 500-hour engine. I don't have to break it in. So once it's on there, I can start doing ground runs or whatever else I want to do with it. And
He about choked when you told him what you paid for that engine. He was, I mean, looking at it and talking about the engine, everything like that. And then you said, I bought it for 18 grand. He's like, that's the perfect engine.
Yeah.
Like, it's 500 hours since last overhaul and 18 grand. He's like, that is the perfect engine. You can't get a more perfect engine than that.
yeah, I'm pretty happy. I mean, we'll see what happens when we actually crank it for the first time and what works and what doesn't. But even at the price I paid, I figured that's what I'd pay for a decent core to have to rebuild. So
yeah,
it would be inconvenient timing if it took a crap the second I'm ready to start running it and needed to rebuild it. But at least I've got something to start with. So that's the whole story of the engine.
Yeah, that Arizona Air Salvage is literally like 3 miles from my house.
They were good to deal with. They were
I've
all
stopped
over the
by
communication and shipping
there.
and
Yeah, looking for an engine, but I think you stole the one I was looking for. Jerk, man.
that's okay. I'll live with myself. I'll go out there and cry over my engine here in a little while.
Good deal.
So Brandon, you're building an airplane that is a good traveler to go see grandkids, but you're also building one that you can go see them while you fly upside down. Do you have exciting plans other than what you told your wife to convince her to allow you to build it?
I would love to do aerobatics. I just want to have fun. I love flying. I love getting out in the air and just, I don't care if it's just, puttering along to get somewhere or if it's just flying around in circles and having somebody that's never flown before and showing them a stall and watching them freak out. I mean, I just love flying. I think it's great. There's a school, Flight Chops. I don't know if you guys watch Flight Chop videos, but he went to a school where they kind of did training for aerobatics. I would love to do something like that. I don't know if I'm going to do like the full, like air show aerobatic stuff, but I at least want to be able to do, some loops and some rolls, have some fun and just fly around. I think that would be cool.
You're going to put a smoke system on it, right?
There currently is no plan to put a smoke system on it.
I mean, if you're gonna fly across the North Atlantic with us, we need to be able to cross the coast of Scotland with some red, white, and blue smoke happening.
Would be
You need to let your wife know it's a safety factor because if you're going to land in an unknown strip, you got to drop some smoke to see which way the wind is blowing.
There you go.
Makes the plane safer. I'm here to help.
She has told me in no uncertain terms when she is in the airplane, if it goes upside down in any way, shape, or form, she will never fly with me again.
So you got to do that part at night.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just a nice 1G roll.
Just 1G.
Yeah.
See, you didn't feel a thing.
Yeah.
Very cool. What made you decide on which end of the airplane to put the little wheel?
Honestly, insurance cost.
That's a valid one.
The insurance cost for a tail wheel is gigantic compared to tricycle gear.
And it's a pain to find places to rent them to get time too.
Yeah, getting a tail dragger endorsement those are hard to come by. I don't know. It just seemed easier. It's all of the planes that I've flown have all been tricycle gear, so it just seemed, of the many things that are changing, flying, building and then flying your own plane. I was like, that's one that I don't have to take. That's a change I don't have to make. So
it's a risk you didn't have to add to them. The emission.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So do you get to fly much where you're at? Do you like belong to an aero club or?
I'm actually I'm working on my instrument rating right now.
Oh, fun.
So those foggles. I've flown for a long time just as a regular kind of pilot, and I'm pretty good when my eyes can see outside. Putting those foggles on and using the instruments to that degree of accuracy it is still taking some time to convince my brain to do it the right way. So, but I like it. One of the reasons why I'm doing the instrument rating is because, again, for insurance reasons for the airplane, the more ratings you have, the cheaper insurance is. And if you can get your commercial rating, which I'm pretty close to in hours, you get another break on insurance costs. And then my wife is a teacher, and so one of the things, you have those ideas in the back of your head that you're like, oh man, it would be kind of cool if I could do this. I've been thinking, it's like, it would be really cool if I could get my CFI and then go to the school and say, hey, to the seniors that are there, if they want to go flying, we can hook up a schedule. And you don't need I don't want to teach like at a flying school. If some kids want to go flying, I want to be able to go up and show them some stuff and see if they're interested in it, let the hours count, and just help them out, I guess, a little bit. So that's kind of, back of the mind, future looking. I think that would be really cool to do.
Yeah. Well, I would appreciate it if you would express the same enthusiasm for how fun instrument rating training is that I do to convince Tim I'm
gonna do it. I just gotta get around to it.
I loved it. I thought it was so much fun.
Spending money on airplanes right now.
Yeah, it is definitely challenging. I've talked about this before on the show, but I did do a fair amount of like flying in the system in a sim with a legit NAS air traffic control system through an organization called Pilot Edge. So I had during COVID, when we all had time to do that stuff, I had a lot of time and practice in addition to what I was doing in the airplane. And so I think they gelled more quickly. So I did an accelerated course for my instrument. But you've probably experienced it at some point, right, Brandon? Have you done like a long cross country?
We've done the short cross country. We haven't done the 250-mile one. Yeah.
But isn't it just bananas when you fly for 45 minutes, 3 hours, whatever, and then you look up and there's the airport right where it's supposed to be.
It is amazing. Like the accuracy of that stuff. I'm telling you what, you guys starting to get me excited about flying, and you probably don't want to do that because I can talk for hours on that stuff. But the very first time I went up with my instructor, she's a great girl. She's like 23 years old, which don't even get me started on young kids flying. And, I'm 52, so everybody's young, I guess. And
except for me.
Well, us, let's just say that in general, us. But we were flying and we did that first approach, and you have the foggles on and you line the needles up, and the GPS has got you, flying on the course, and you're making sure you're staying on the line, and you're losing altitude because, that's what you do on the approach as you go down in your stepped approach and stuff. And then she's like, okay, we're at minimums, take your foggles off. And the landing strip is literally right in front of you. I mean, just lined up perfect. You're like 300 feet above the end of the runway, just lined up perfect. And I was like, holy crap. This is amazing stuff. It was absolutely the coolest thing, just seeing that airport show up right in front of you. And I didn't even know where I was in the sky. I was like, I don't even know where I am. And
See, Tim?
Took those glasses off.
Yeah.
I plan to try and have it done before the plane flies. I mean, the plane's going to be IFR capable. I might as well have an instrument rating to go with it. So,
yep. Okay. Well, there you go. And so we are 45 seconds over time, which means we pretty much nailed it. You know what happened is we just looked up and we were right above the runway at 300 feet. So I think this was a good one.
Yeah.
I will send you guys a patch.
Oh, very cool.
Very cool. I don't have patches. I don't have stickers.
Brandon, that was fun. We're going to have you on again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was great. I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, this was a very successful. We did the hardest part of this show, which is press record on 2 devices. And so we actually have video and audio for this one, which is going to stun like our fans in Qatar and Russia and Bangladesh. Right. And there are so many of them who apparently just... Chad. Yes, Chad. Yes. Congo.
I do have a subscriber in India, so...
I'm wondering if all those people are just like in the Midwest and they're just using
VPNs.
VPNs. Yeah. But I hope they're not.
Yes.
Yeah. I really hope that the guy in Qatar is using a VPN, but just a local one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks. Catch you in the next one.
See you.
Peace.
See you guys.
This has been We Are Not Experts, an airplane building podcast. Episode 20. Both hosts survived. They've also acquired a third. Make of that what you will. If this is your sort of thing, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone of similar disposition. Good night.